Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Akwa Ibom ayayao Siyana barasone ki songe mananye Akwa Ibom ojit ayayao
Flooding is a phenomenon which impact can be felt even by societies in the advanced world, just as their counterparts in the not-so-advanced world. It has devastated many homes and rendered the people homeless in many cases, while in extreme cases, a number of lives have been lost. In monetary terms, property worth several millions of dollars have been lost, bringing untold hardship to victims. Some factors have been linked to the disaster, namely, a change in global weather pattern in recent times, otherwise called global warming, increase in rainfall, and above all, human activity, like building in unauthorized places, thereby increasing paved areas where runoff water would have naturally found a way of emptying out. These and many other reasons could be advanced for the heavy flooding being witnessed across the world. Our dear state has not been spared either, as the state is part of the global community. In our package today, we showcase efforts by the Akpabio administration to check the menace of flooding in parts of the capital city. Flood control is a very capital-intensive venture, particularly when it involves soil reclamation, as is the case with many parts of Akwa Ibom State. Uyo, the state capital, Oran, Etuk, Akwa Ibom are among flood-prone local government areas in the state. Because of the enormity of the menace across the state, the Governor Godswill Akpabio-led administration invested billions of naira in a determined effort to curb the menace. He started by bringing about the pipe-jacking underground drainage system to check perennial flooding at Itam and in Abak. The import of this latest technology is that it is environment-friendly, cost-effective, with minimal compensation paid to residents, while, unlike the surface drainage, the residents were not displaced in the course of construction.
For you to appreciate the system, you need to see the video of how that thing was done. It's just the same way that Eurostar was done. Now, from one central reservoir, pipes as gigantic as something you can ride a bike through. Even if you walk through, he walks through, you see have a lot of space. Are going around the town, 3.7 kilometers from one house to the, crossing people's houses and then going 40 feet below houses. And then immediately after the rain, 2 minutes after the rain, you will see a single water. Then you go to the discharge end that takes it through into a stream. And then, if it's in the rain, luckily the vice president commissioned it in the rain. The force of water that is coming out, you can hear it 1 mile away. when the water is coming. And you know, at the end of the day, you put in a small turbine and you regulate the force. It can produce electricity for the immediate environment where there is need for that. So these are innovations that you will not see anywhere else.
As you can see here, we drove piles, both piles, at 4 spots. After driving these bored piles, concrete piles, you excavate the manhole, and then you bring in this drilling machine, it's a kind of drilling machine, and then you start to drill into the soil, and then while you're drilling in the same time you push these concrete pipes into the soil. So this means you open up only 4 spots for the manholes, and then between these manholes you push your concrete pipes one after the other into the soil. And while you are pushing the concrete pipes, you excavate the soil inside the concrete pipe and bring it out through the manhole. So through this method, you don't have to do demolition, and you avoid this huge earthworks. Imagine 2.3 kilometers drain in a depth of up to 40 meters. We were talking about thousands of cubic of laterite, which we would have to cut away in the normal method.
Because of its flat surface and table-like nature, Uyo is very much often flooded when it rains. The ravines are equally encroaching rapidly. These are found around the town campus of the University of Uyo, Eka Street, Dominic Etuk Avenue, Waniba Road, Wellington Bassey Way, Uyo Village Road, among others. We are, in this package, bringing to you a blow-by-blow account of the devastating flood situation along Dominic Etuk Avenue as it was in 2009 and current efforts to checkmate it. The Dominic Etuk ravine was encroaching so fast, with residents at the risk of losing their houses and household properties. It took the swift intervention of the Akpabio administration to arrest the situation. Mr. Muyeed is the project manager of Nigerpet Structures Limited, the construction company, handling the intervention.
Personally, we are indebted to His Excellency because he kept faith, and he believed in he had a vision, what he wanted, and this came into being. And I tell you what, that we've got numerous, compliments from numerous people coming outside the state, what he has done here, what he has been able to do. So I think it's something unique. And in generally, that's how the Dominic Etuk ravine, the introduction for us came because of that.
Reasons for this accelerated encroachment include inability of existing hydraulic structure to dissipate energy of the storm water at the discharge point, increase in annual rainfall, increase in paved area and resulting increase in runoff, aggressive farming in the vicinity, flat terrain with steep slope at the edges, sand mining on the ravine bed, as well as unauthorized tipping of debris on top and slopes of ravine. From July 2009, the Dominic Etuk ravine distance from the road using modern surveying techniques and Geographic Information System GIS measured 114.87 meters from the road. But by July 2011, the distance had reduced to 6.7 meters, posing a serious threat to the Dominic Etuk Road itself, school structures, private properties, PHCN facilities, underground utilities, among several other things.
It does. But I think the major thing that has happened over the years, you see, at times, it happens, it's what His Excellency inherited as such, is he is coming to this power at a time when a lot of things have changed. I doubt very much if we had in the past 3 years 1 month of dry weather without a rain or something. So obviously the weather pattern has changed, and so you have the what do you call it, the rainfall has increased. That's one thing. And the other thing that has happened is that, definitely the human activity has, all over the world has affected everything, drainage system, especially the third world countries, where things are not at times well planned, and, over the years of a lot of things. So, what happens is that where you have rainfall, when you have soil or natural vegetation, natural land cover, the rainwater comes in and it percolates, goes down, surface runoff is less. But what's happening now is that you have a lot of paved area. People have built houses also, all those houses, asphalt, concrete. So the what do you call it, the soil cover is no more there.
It takes me to man and environment. And when I say man here, a man contributes a lot to the destruction or the flooding in Uyo, more than the natural aspect of heavy rainfall. But then with the heavy rainfall, the topographical factors like the flat plain, which Uyo belongs at, increases the volume of flood that ends up to destroy from what would have been a manageable erosion or flood problem to such that has considered a nuisance and a menace.
Apart from the increase in rainfall amount and intensity, because you have what we call intensity, you can have short duration but very, very heavy rain. You can also have long duration and then it's okay. Long duration gives the soil some time to absorb the water. But if it's short, very short duration and high intensity, so that is where you see flood. That is when flood is common. The soil does not have the infiltration rate, is not enough to take much water. So what is left is runoff. And because of increase in the paved surfaces, so you have lots of run, much more than what is the drainage that has been designed can take care of. So that is why we have that. And like he also mentioned something about people building on waterways. So that will block the natural flow of water. So water will always find its way. So you have it accumulated somewhere. So you have what we call flash floods. Okay. It's not like flooding. There's a lot of confusion about what is flooding. Yeah. So there's flooding as in the one that a river will overflow its banks. But there's flooding or flash flooding when you have heavy rainfall or high intensity rainfall. So in that way, the soil and the storm water drainage on ground cannot take care of it.
With a team of very dedicated staff, Nigerpet Company set out to work even with such difficult terrain. The hands have all been on deck to rescue the town from the devastating situation.
Well, our aim here, we are working on this erosion control project, because of the effect of the erosion and the impact what the erosion has done to this environment. So the government has commissioned us to see how to solve this problem for the environment. We have 3 arms of water distribution here. We have this one that is coming from this side. The scope of work is basically reinforced concrete drains and some other geotechnical materials used for erosion controls. But for now, it is stage by stage. What we are doing now, we are putting on the concrete structures, the underground and the surface one, to see how to connect them before other materials we're going to use here to finish up the project. Well, that is just a prototype of what we're going to do here. This erosion control system here is going to take all the water within this catchment area. You see the one that is coming from this other end of Wellington Bassi, this one that is coming from Udokang linking Utang Street, and this other one that is coming up from Wangiba, passing through this other side. all of them will be collected here, then channel it down to go and discharge it some certain distance away from here. So what you have in the billboard there is what is going to be on ground, as it's going to be built that same way. You see, towards after the retaining wall, you see one at the first here, you have a cascaded section of some erosion control geotechnical material like the gabions, Reno mattresses, terra mesh, and the rest of them. That is what we're going to do here, exact what you see in the billboard.
From the photograph that you have seen, it's not actually an easy terrain to be surveyed.
Do you do that with the chopper or?
No, not with the chopper. Okay. It requires a modern surveying equipment, and it's time consuming too, because you have to show exactly what is on site. So it has to be like a daily measurement, because we have started observing it since 2009, as my boss has clarified. So since then we have normally a daily or weekly survey to check, so that we'll know the extent of how the erosion has been coming in. So it's not an easy task.
And also, basically, in a case like this, where it's important is because it source some part of its data remotely sensed. So you don't need to go into the gully. You can use area imagery and use photography methods. So without really endangering the personnel. So I think that's its disadvantage.
Okay.
Gathering this information is IT. IT has been by gathering pictures, videos, like I earlier told you, we'll be able to create a context, we'll create a perspective that shows what's the current challenges and how we are addressing these challenges. Okay. Yeah. So though we are using small tools, like small IT tools to do that, but most times it's a bit tasking, because you have to get information from various sources and integrate them to convey meaning. Yeah, that's basically what. In this project, it's been nice, because I also have learned from, I've seen how they're keeping historical data, patching this data, or looking through it sequentially to understand the shift, the progress, the dynamism of this project. Or pictorially you can get so much information from it, because for instance, most times my boss happens to watch a video and there's some information he couldn't see that time, and he happens to watch this video and he sees something, he said, whoa, this was a critical situation. And that could also help him in decision making. It could make him reflect on his thoughts and see how he can be more dynamic also in solving this problem. Nice.
Engineers at the State Ministry of Works have been partnering with staff of the contracting firm to contain the situation.
This is Dominic Etuk Avenue, and this is erosion control site, main drainage structures outfall that is being constructed by the government of Akwa Ibom State as part of the uncommon transformation of the state by His Excellency Godswill Akpabio.
All right, sir. Lead us into the project itself. What used to happen here?
Well, before now, you know that where we are standing here, there were a lot of structures here. And the water that came into this place virtually carried those houses away, those structures. And where we are standing here is, the kind of a central point where water coming from Wellington Basi, Otang Street, and Wangiba meet. And within seconds after rain, you can't cross here. That's why you have flashing, a point of flashing water. Within 10 minutes, the water would overflow here. And after rain, within 15 minutes, all the water will disappear. You will never believe that the water here is the magnitude is so much. So because of that, because of the force and the magnitude of water, the structures that were standing here were virtually carried away. Not only the structures here, but even to you can see far into the government house there. It was threatening the government house. And if this intervention was not done timely, believe me, a lot of structures here, people would have lost their life. Even the Catholic school here would have gone. The government house would not be safe. So this call for this intervention, and the magnitude is great, and the speed in which the construction company is going and the way the government is pushing them to be able to save the structure that you are seeing around is incredible. It's wonderful.
The residents have remained eternally grateful to the Akpabio administration for coming to their rescue when all hopes had faded.
Before, like early this year, like January or sometime last year, kind of December, when you come across this place, it was like just a forest. Nothing was happening here. So erosion was, when we have heavy rain, erosion will flow everywhere. So, but we are happy because of the works that the state government is doing. We are happy to see this place like this. It's nice. I want to appreciate the state government for all the good works he's been doing. I've seen the TV and everywhere. They have given him all titles and all that. So he's uncommon transformer. He transforms things. He have done, even if you're not from this state, you would witness the kind of good works he's doing here. So we are thanking him. He should keep on doing good works.
Yeah, this place some years ago, it was a story of the town, most especially for us around this environment. The worst part of it is about this Christ-seeking students. If we have every rain, those students, some of their parents were complaining of erosion. Some years ago, we had some news that erosion picked 1 or 2 students in this same access. So this place was very, very bad, very, very bad. So.
Now that government has done this, how does it make you feel? Are you happy to see this kind of work?
Well, I'm very, very happy. I'm excited, most especially for those kids. Now they can move freely without having anything in their mind. Even the parents, they will be happy because their parents, their children are now safe. So what the governor is doing is splendid. The governor is really doing well. So everybody must know that good things is happening here. You can see the works around. Even at times I do come up to check what is going on. So I'm happy for that.
Another area where intervention is also carried out is the Eka Street Ravine, which a couple of months ago had been cut off. In spite of the capital-intensive nature of arresting the train, government is committed to salvage the environment. This is truly a demonstration of love for the people and the environment. Governor Akpabio has clearly demonstrated this with his massive transformation of the once backwater state to a destination of choice. The environment is lush green, serene and inviting. The infrastructure is world-class, giving the right ambience to attract visitors from all parts of the globe. And so, this massive investment in flood control is intended to protect the infrastructure he has labored to build over these years. This is uncommon transformation.
latest information of the monumental achievements of the Governor Akpabio-led administration. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube to read the latest news, watch amazing videos and listen to in-depth analyses and interviews with the men and women working hand in hand with stakeholders to make Akwa Ibom State better. You can also log on to our website www.uncommontransformation.tv for more information. Uncommon Transformation Television Series, bringing to you the right and current information when you need it.